with Pete K. So Pete, let's put this to bed. How do you pronounce your last name?
As long as you say all the letters, it's correct. Kostelnick, I guess, is the technical, but if you say Kostelnick, it's also
It's
all good.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Pete Kostelnick. So, for part of the U.S. 24-hour team, where are you coming from tonight?
I live in Flagstaff, Arizona. I've kind of been lived all over like the Midwest, like 90% of my life, but the last 3 or 4 years I lived in Arizona and specifically the last couple here in Flagstaff. So yeah,
How's that?
love it out
How's
here.
that treating you?
Really good. It took me a while to get used to like the amount of sun exposure out here because being in the Midwest, you got a lot of clouds. So, but I like the dry weather, so I'm more of a dry weather runner. So I really like that part of it. And then at Flagstaff, the weird thing is it's not as hot. It's really not that hot compared, although it's been hot like the last couple of weeks because you're at 7,000 feet. So training at the altitude has been great for me, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you've been using the bike too.
Yeah, I've been doing. I used to be like 100% run. I never did anything besides run, and now I probably more like 70% run, 30% doing other stuff. So I think that's also been a blessing in disguise these last couple of years.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you do for a living when you're not running?
I work at a desk job, a financial analyst. So I work with numbers all day. So getting out for a run keeps me balanced because otherwise I'd probably be like 400
Super.
pounds if I just like worked a desk job and ate Doritos all day.
It's just so exciting. Punch it
Yeah.
out.
And I work from home, and my wife Lindsay also works from home. She actually works for the parent company of Hoka, so we both
Oh
work
wow.
desk jobs, and so we
But
I
you
work
don't work
upstairs,
for
she works
Hoka.
downstairs. Yeah,
You're still sponsored by them, right?
yeah, yep, yeah. I've been with Hoka for almost 10 years now. It's kind of
Oh.
crazy. They were just a little tiny startup when I started with them.
You want to give everyone a quick little run history? I mean,
Yeah.
it's extended, but you can.
Yeah, I mean, I got into running later, like not like I mean, it's funny because like a lot of ultra runners, like yourself even, like got into ultra running, like as an adult. And I mean, I got into ultra running when I was like 21 or 22. I was pretty young for an ultra runner. But really I didn't get into running at all until like my junior year of high school. And then I signed up for cross country, and I remember like thinking like 12 miles was like a crazy long run, and like I remember I did 12 miles like right after I graduated from high school just to do it, and like I was on the couch the rest of the weekend. And so that's like kind of crazy to
That
think
still
back on
happens.
like days where like not even running a half marathon. I mean, it's to most people running a half marathon is really far, but to people like us it's like, oh, it's just like a warm up, or like
Yep.
it's like a sprint, it kind of feels like. So yeah, I mean, I kind of got into marathon running in college, like at the end of college, really just as like to offset drinking beer. And there was really no like competitive like feel to it. I mean, I wanted to like get faster times, of course, but it was really just like as a way to like not be like sedentary. And then yeah, and I did road marathons for like a few years. Kind of got burnt out on just doing road marathons all the time, and so then I stepped up to it's like a 44-mile ultra when I was like 22, 23 years old, in Kansas City, called Brew to Brew. Of course, it has to involve a beer, two two
We'll get
breweries
that
at the
beer in
start and
some
the
way.
finish. Yeah, and it was just kind of a random, like it was like a relay race that you could do like solo, and so then that kind of got me like that was like my gateway ultra into like further ultras, and then I did like my first 100 miler. I think that yeah that fall in 2011, the Ozark 100, down in southern Missouri, and I think it took me like almost 30 hours to do it, and so like I've cut over half my time off that. I
That's
mean, it
awesome.
was a trail race, but still, it's like you know being out there for 20 almost 30 hours, and now I've done a few hundreds
Right.
under 15 hours. But yeah, I mean, I think most proud streak is that I've done at least 100-mile race every year since 2011. So I think, 15 years in, I kind of feel like I'm like a seasoned veteran of ultra running, but then I still see, people in their 50s and 60s still kicking butt, and 70s and 80s even.
Yep.
So excited to keep doing this as long as my body lets me, which it still has.
If anyone doesn't know, let everyone know what you're most famous for.
Probably running across the country. I've done a couple runs across, I guess, the US. One was like for the record. So like there's a speed rack. It's actually a Guinness World Record. But that was when I ran from San Francisco to New York, which is kind of like the standard like transcon across America route. And so yeah, I did that in 2016, and I still have that record. I'm sure someone will take it. Proactively, I knew that someone would take that record down someday. So then I thought, well, I didn't really have much fun doing it. I mean, it was very like rewarding to do it, but I didn't like have much time each day to like actually talk to people that came out and run with me. Like, I mean, I would talk to them while we ran, but like I wanted to like a more full transcon experience. So then in 2 years later in 2018, I ran from Kenai, Alaska to Key West, Florida. That's when I met you, of course. I think probably about 6 or 7 days out from the finish.
Yep,
Um,
I had the honor of running your 5,000th mile with you.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, so yeah, it
Yep.
would have been exactly about 300 or 400 miles from the finish, and yeah, I mean, I did that in like 100 days. It wasn't like for like any sort of like record because no one had ever run from Alaska to Florida, and so it was just kind of like this crazy idea I thought of, kind of dating back to when I was a kid. My parents and my siblings, we drove to Alaska from Iowa, where I grew up, and so that was kind of the inspiration. Was like not a lot of people know that you can like drive to Alaska, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I just remember how scenic it was, and I was doing about 50 to 55 miles a day, so like pretty aggressive mileage, but not like anything where I didn't have time to like stop and like have lunch with someone or like take pictures. And I did it self-supported, so I had a stroller with all my gear in it. So as opposed to like when I ran from San Francisco to New York, I had a 4-person crew where all I did was run, and I didn't have to like take care of like laundry or food or anything like that. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
didn't
that's
take
probably
any help.
yeah, yeah. So that was pretty much probably like what I'm most known for. And um, you know, the 24-hour, I've struggled with it quite a bit. Over the like I had some pretty instant success like in 2015 where I think I ran 163 or 164 miles. But then I didn't I don't know if it was because of like the transcon runs in 2016 and 2018, but I just struggled for a number of years. Like I don't know if it was like some minor injury or what have you, but yeah, this year I finally, kind of like the least suspecting year, I finally got back on the team. So
Well,
it's
it's
been
probably like
been
going
a
from
minute.
being a 200-mile runner to like a 5K runner and wondering why.
Yeah, yeah. So
But yeah, so let's touch on that. So you qualified for the team back in, it was 2017?
mhm.
Or
Yeah. Yeah, it was way back in 2015, like December 2015. I qualified for the team, but then the Worlds, it was like the
Worlds.
early part of the window, and we did the Worlds in Belfast, Ireland, that 2017 year.
How did that
Uh,
go for you?
Terribly. I only made it. I think, you know, I don't know if it was. Gosh, it was so long ago, but I had a terrible race. Couldn't stop puking.
Oh
Just
no.
I was like
How did it go for the
dehydrated
team?
somehow, and yep. All of the team, we got bronze as a team, so we still did
Okay.
pretty good as a team. But I didn't like they score the top 3 out of the 6 on the team, and I was the last one on the team as far as mileage. So definitely been trying to get back for 8 years now, and definitely want to get revenge this time around.
So yeah, so you've qualified at D3 with 154.6. So you're third on the team right now. So how did that race? So that was the main goal, getting on the team?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, it was, I knew there were a few other runners there that could also qualify. So it was kind of like this weird scenario where my goal was to get to that third spot in case there were like, a few other guys that put up like, like Sage Canaday or Nick Budson or Peter Chadovich. There were
Mhm.
a lot of, and Alex Fenn was another guy that put up some good miles there. So yeah, my goal was to get just right above Don on the list. Don's a fellow Iowa native like me, and just yeah, try to sneak onto the team at the last second because I didn't run any 24 hour. I hadn't run a 24 hour in a couple of years at
Yeah,
least.
you switched up your game.
Yeah, I kind of been going and doing a lot of different races formats over the past few couple of years, and I think that's been helpful to kind of keep me like more engaged and having fun rather than just like trying to do the races that I'm good at. And so yeah, it was a really good day. It was kind of a I was really like crossing my fingers for like dry weather because it gets, at least not for you but for me, going to Philadelphia, it's pretty humid there in May, and so
Yeah, you've lost all your moving out there. You've lost all your humidity acclimation.
yeah, and so it was like the perfect day for me because it got warm, but it was dry, and so I was like, "Bring it on!" Like, let's go. And so yeah, it turned out to be a good weather day for me. And yeah, I was just like, I've had so many 24-hour races where you like get through the 100-mile mark, no problem, in like 14, 15 hours, but then it's like those last, like, if you want to get to like 150 or like a qualifying distance for the team, it's like those last 8 hours, it just becomes like you're falling asleep, you're like trying to stay awake, you're like, all right, which like, and then I've had races where like all of a sudden in 1 mile you just kind of lose it, and so I was just really crossing my fingers for like those last 7, 8 hours at D3 to keep it together
Yeah.
and not fall apart, and it
No,
was
it's
great.
been the that well, D3 and just all the team this year has been super competitive. Like you've got to put up big numbers to get on the team for,
Hmm.
you know. So that's
Yeah, and the women's side is crazy. I mean, you could probably actually argue the women's side is even more competitive than the
we
men's.
have.
If they're almost like their mileage is like, I mean, anymore it's you got to be close to 150 even for the women's
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, no. Do you see, so since you were there 10 years ago ish, and now how do you think the sport has changed in those last 10 years?
Oh, well, I'm kind of kicking myself because like it's just gotten so much more competitive, especially globally, in the 24-hour arena. Like I think if you ran like 165, you're looking at potentially individual podium. Now it's like that might be like 10th or 11th or 12th, and so, or maybe even further down. And so it's just like now it's crazy because like you got so many of these, especially I think European and Japanese runners that are like putting up like 170 like in their sleep, and so it'll be a tall task. I think my main goal is to come away with another medal, maybe even higher than bronze. Like I was able to I guess kind of be the beneficiary of last time around,
You're there for
and really
moral
just
support.
yeah, and really maybe and hopefully score as one of those three that helps bring back a medal. I think I don't know. We'll have to see how it unfolds, but yeah, it's just crazy how the bar, you know, in 24-hour running has just continued to go up significantly just in the last 8 years.
Yeah, yeah. You look at Alexander Sorkin and you're like, how are you doing this?
Yeah,
It's what do you see any Americans getting 200 miles in the 24-hour anytime soon? Or it's all,
no,
yeah, no,
no,
just
do not.
no.
Yeah, I guess you never know, but yeah. So I mean, we'll have to rely on our depth for sure because we're not. We probably don't have anyone that's going to put up like 175 or 180. But I do think we have a lot. All six of us are capable of putting up a really good number, and all of us scoring. So if we can, I don't know, I'll have to see, but if we can get three of us in the 160s or even someone approaching 170, I think we got a pretty good shot at getting a medal.
Do you think it's going to be tougher with this course with twisty turns? It's not a straight loop, and um, do you think
Yeah,
that's going to play into it?
yeah. I mean, when they hosted it, I think 6 years ago, we had, I think Olivier was like around 170, and
Oh,
then
okay.
I think Jake and Harvey might have been like 165, 160. So I mean, and I think they got gold. So that today might not get gold. I don't know, but they had a pretty good performance. So I think just kind of, even though none of the three of them is back from that championship, hopefully we can kind of use it as like our benchmark for how we want to do as a team this time around.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to watch. It's too bad they don't have a straight live stream, or maybe they will this year. Have you heard anything? I
Yeah,
haven't.
I remember seeing some video. It wasn't very
Yeah,
good.
like a
It
static
wasn't anything
TM.
like Mountain Out Photos or anything like that. But yeah, I remember it was like probably like someone's camera was just like sitting there. I don't know. So I bet they'll have some sort of live stream, I would hope. But yeah,
Yes, we can get more eyes on it because you know, there's a group of us in the sport that think this is the kind of stuff that's just as interesting as Western States and Cocodona.
yeah. Well, as a participant, it's more, I mean, I love doing just about every type of ultra out there, except of course the backyard. I don't really get
Still,
into that one
yeah.
yet.
So your opinion has not changed on that.
Nah, I mean, yeah, you probably won't find me doing a backyard, but I'll do just about anything but a backyard. So, yeah, I mean, I love all the different formats, but I mean, personally, doing a 24-hour race or a fixed time race, I think a lot of people don't realize is it's actually probably more exciting as a participant than like some of these other races because like
Hmm.
you are like around other runners the whole time, right? Whereas like when I did Cocodona, it's beautiful, it's a very rewarding race, but it's like you might not be with anyone for 20 straight hours and just out
Right.
there by yourself.
Yeah.
So
No, I try to
yeah,
explain this. I say the same thing to people when they're like, "How can you do that? So boring." And it's like
yeah,
it's really not. The time goes by so fast.
it does.
Yeah, you always have somebody around, and it's great to pick you up. Like you can't have pacers, but you've got somebody right there that you can find to chat with if you need a pick me up at 4 in the morning or whatever. And your stuff's there. You don't have to carry a 10 pound
Yeah.
worth of
Yeah,
gear.
the only thing that I think my main thing I like the least is it's the easiest to also DNF because your
Yeah,
stuff is right there. It's
you're
like
right there.
you're doing like, I mean, there's probably been several 24 hours where, looking back, I probably, if it was like a point to point format, I probably would have just said, okay, I'll keep
Yeah,
going and like just walk for a few minutes and then sort it out. But it's just so easy. And, these small, tiny loops, as like it's just, oh, well, my car's right there. I can kind of cut my
especially
losses.
oh the weather's bad. It's
Yeah.
too. That's why the
The
last stringer
weather's,
I ran, I was like, no, it's cold. I'm not going anywhere.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
18 hours is good.
yeah, that's the other thing. Like 24-hour race, there's really never a perfect, like, unless you're like at the dome in Milwaukee where they keep the temperature the same the whole time. You're going to have either a time where it's too hot or too cold across those 24 hours. And so that's the other thing is it's so hard to kind of regulate your body temperature when you
Yeah.
got the temperature swinging 40 degrees during your race.
So did this making the team this year, did it have any more significance since the injury?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's funny because it's like, I wouldn't wish anyone to like break their pelvis in a car accident, but um it maybe what it did for me is, there's probably several factors of like why I'm running better than I had for a while, but um I think having that time, both I think mentally away from running was probably what I needed. I think I was kind of just like treating running like a job, even though it's not my job. But and just kind of like signing up for race after race, but then like having a break, I think kind of made me like reset and appreciate like the beauty of ultra running from like a spectator perspective from like a wheelchair or the couch. And then I think physically, like um, coming back, it maybe like fixed some things that just needed some extended time off, and I was just always too stubborn over the years to like
As
take,
you
you
know,
know,
us runners.
take like 6 months off completely from running, or really it was kind of like longer than that with how little I was running when I started back up. But yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, it's more meaningful to me because I kind of look at it as like, did I get like when I was running really well, like 7, 8 years ago? Was it just like I got lucky, like struck it good, on some races, and then I just kind of like have spent more of my like ultra running career like struggling than succeeding, and then to like start from ground zero and work your way back. It's kind of like, I don't know, like if you were like an entrepreneur and like you lost all your money and then you have to start from scratch and you're able to do it again. It kind of like confirmed to me that I do kind of like know what I'm doing and running, as opposed to like, well, was I just like running a bunch and getting lucky and then like burnt out, and that was the end of my like success as an ultra runner. So I think that's where it's been the most exciting to me, is like being able to do this, a second time around and like actually do it right.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, it's been amazing to watch. So I think the whole ultra running community's watched your comeback and just disbelief the whole time. And then you just got third at Badwater. So congrats.
No, thank you.
We didn't realize that international competition was like what those guys have put up, and they're gonna, I think you're gonna see them into yeah, in in France.
Yep.
So so you get to face them again.
Oh yeah, it'll
Um,
be fun.
yeah, so I guess that's it.
Well, thanks for having me on, and I really appreciate all that you're doing to support the team. It means a lot to us to have the support.
So
Yeah.
um,
No, I'm excited to be on this team. Like, I don't think it's any of the same people when I was on there. Like, I know Scott had qualified for the team before I ever had, but like, I in some ways I kind of feel like the old guy now on the team, even though I'm maybe not by age, but just by like having been on the team before. So I'm excited. Scott's a fellow Arizonan, so I'm really looking forward to sharing some croissants with him at the race, and then of course all the other guys I've gotten the chance to meet in some capacity. So a
no,
lot of
it's
good dude, and then the women's team as well. I think excited to be over there with them and kind of use them for inspiration for our team.
oh, and we asked I can't remember who Jeff asked about the Western States Nike kits, if you were gonna get to wear those crochet shirts.
You'll not see me wearing that.
No, no, not even if it's
No, I'm excited to get the jersey though, and
yeah.
throw that on. It's always cool to wear that.
That it makes it feel real.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Let me know if
Thank
there's anything
you.
I can do to